All right, here we go for the tube.
That's the square root of Christmas Eve.
Say what up, tube.
Christmas Eve? Yeah, something. What up, dude?
It's an illogical number? Did I get it right?
Irrational.
That's what I said.
Yeah, logical, irrational.
Irrational, logical, whatever. It's all the same. All right, there it is. We're going on. We're on with the tube. And last, but certainly not least, for the pod. Y'all ready?
We're ready.
Let's rock it and roll it. Here we go in 3, 2, and 1.
Welcome to another episode of Business Bros. What up, ladies and gentlemen?
Did you?
Oh, let's do it again.
The babe's calling. That's why.
Oh, the babe's
All right,
calling.
one more time. Ready? Welcome to another episode of
Business
Bros.
There it is. There it is. Woo!
Uh-oh. Should we take a timeout?
No, let's do message and then do the I'm busy one.
That one?
Yeah.
Please hold for technical difficulties.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways,
The
we
baby
are back. Sometimes, when you got calls coming in on a regular basis, you either got to take them because they're an emergency or, hold on a second.
Or the babe's calling.
Yeah, it's calling. So, 365 pairs of shoes, ladies and gents, is what we're shooting for. You guys helped us meet and exceed those goals. So thank you guys very, very much. We really appreciate it. Reminder, James is the insurance bro-ham, so make sure you guys hit him up for all your insurance needs. Homeowners, auto, workers, comp, general liability, whatever it is that you need, or maybe you want to add insurance in your business. It's a great source of residual income. And to be RESPA compliant, you need to call us up so we can make it happen for you. 619-840-0045 or james@csfirst.com. Make it a possibility for you.
Yeah.
All right, show sponsor for today is Casanova Fish Tacos. Check it out. Fish Tacos, ladies and gentlemen. Super Bowl is right around the corner. And speaking of which, I need James to hand me something.
Oh.
Where's that?
Oh, here we go.
So check it out. This year for Super Bowl,
It is time.
For Super Bowl, we have a Super Bowl party every year. Good food. You guys need to make sure you go to CasanovaFishTacos.com and get some fish tacos for your Super Bowl party because that's the good food that people are going to remember at your party. You host a great event, have great food, good things are going to happen. Plus, if you have a birthday party, wedding, or something else coming up, you want a great catering event with some good quality food, CasanovaFishTacos.com. Make sure you let them know Business Bros sent you so that you can get that little extra into your package. And I wanted to force James. Jose, guess what?
What?
You're looking at a champion here.
Dang, look at that.
I won my fantasy league, ladies and gentlemen.
This was mine, but now.
Boom. Now, it's been pretty awesome. I won my fantasy league in 2017. So the fantasy football league belt was sitting on the shelf. Last year, James won it.
So it stayed on the shelf.
This year, I won it. I know it sounds like there's only 2 people in this league, but there's 10 of us. There's 10 of us in this league. I just happen to win, so
100% chance to stay on the show. Good stuff.
Good job.
What's going on? It's good.
I
like it. You're the champ. You deserve that.
All right, now enough about us. Tell me a little bit about who our guest is.
All right, here we go. As always, a fantastic, fun-filled show ready to go for everybody today. Today, we welcome back the man who helped launch the Business Bros Pod as we know it today. Having taken a journey through entrepreneurialism, we first met today's guest when he was working as a lender. Being a social creature who cared too much about his customers, he had no choice but to switch careers, and now he's a rock star at San Diego's fastest-growing brokerage. Blech. Joining us for his second time, please welcome the very first interview guest ever to appear on the Business Bros Pod. From Big Block Realty, please welcome to the show, Jose Valencia.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? What is going on? Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, man,
Just
thanks for coming back.
I was the first one on this show, and I'm just super excited to see where this thing goes. It's growing so much, and I'm just super stoked to be in here.
Well, you're amongst champions. So.
That shit's contagious.
That is contagious, bro.
That thing's contagious.
So,
Yep.
I want to know a little bit, let's catch the audience up. So, you used to be in lending, right? And lending was pretty good. I mean, we made our connection there.
Yep.
Remind everybody, how did we meet, dude? Just so other people know that it really does work.
Yeah, I literally cold called you from the MLS. you had a listing back then. I think it was one of your flips, and you were representing yourself. And I found your number from the MLS, gave you a call, and we just hit it off, connected, met over a cup of coffee at a Starbucks, right?
Just throwing it out there.
And I got to that Starbucks. My boy was wearing a backwards Chargers hat. I remember. I was like, "Dang, this is your nana? Okay,
Chilling.
Yeah, chilling, dude." And he was the same person live that he was over the phone, right? It's the same person. OBS. It was us. We connected. We hit it off, and that's how we met.
I'm a little bit louder on the mic. I gotta be 100% honest. Only because I feel like energy-wise, I think it. You know how they say like the camera adds 10 pounds?
Yeah.
But I think the camera like lowers your energy level a little bit. So I gotta like, I feel like I have my teacher voice when I'm on the podcast. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like when I'm in the classroom. Yeah, authority. Like when I'm in the classroom.
And it came with those repetitions, right?
Yeah.
How many
obviously.
shows are you guys in now?
You're gonna be episode 359.
Wow, bro. That's
Dude.
drop a bomb on that.
Boom! Almost a
359,
year's
dude.
worth of episodes
Good
floating
stuff.
out there.
Yeah. And it's just like everything else, right? It's repetitions. I bet you if you look back at that very first show.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Well, no. Yeah. With you, no. Once we got to, you know what? I'm gonna be fair. Even with the interview, it probably wasn't as good because it was like the first time.
Yeah, right.
You know what I
it's
mean?
Just like anything else.
Yeah.
We're talking about working out. That first step is the hardest.
Oh
right?
my god.
That's why I told you that you had to come back, because that very first one,
It's not fair to you.
it wasn't fair to you. He wasn't any good. None wasn't any good yet.
Yeah.
This was gonna be good, so stay tuned.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know what we're gonna talk about, but it's gonna
Yeah.
be
Well, that's
go.
the thing, right? It's the eve before Christmas Eve. So it's like the last show before Christmas for
Last
us.
show before
and
Christmas.
we get to open the Jose present.
Yeah.
So,
Just pop out of the box so you don't know what you're gonna
boom.
get.
Nah, you're Mexican, dude. You're more like a tamal. We just gotta unwrap you.
Or a bag of tortillas,
Or
dude.
a bag of tortillas. It's funny, dude, because my mom makes homemade tortillas all the time, right? And so every time she comes to visit us, she always brings us tortillas, right? And she goes,
man.
"Oh, I didn't wrap them for you." I'm like, "Mom, they're in a Ziploc. Every time I open them, it's a present."
They taste better.
Right? Or I told her, or the tortillas could be like wrapping paper.
Yeah.
I don't know what's inside the burrito, but it's already wrapped.
Right.
So I can take a bite.
Yeah, something about
Works
a
either
plastic
way.
bag, dude. You ever had soda from Mexico in a bag? For some reason, it
Yes.
tastes better, dude.
It's weird, huh?
Yeah.
Where they pop the straw in there.
Yep. Nothing to do with anything.
Nothing
but,
to
hey,
do
it's
with
in a
anything.
bag.
It's the presentation, right?
Yeah.
The presentation is different, so
Yeah.
it works out.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. All right, tell me a little bit about this year, dude. How's
Yeah.
this year been for you? Like that transition,
Amazing.
moving into being a realtor. Like,
Yeah.
was it smooth? How'd it go?
Well, at first, I was a little hesitant about it. Not gonna lie, I was scared. Right, I had my systems going for me, and in the lending business, I created systems that I thought I created in lending, and jumping into real estate for me, I thought I had to do it. I cut my career too short in real estate. I went from real estate to lending back to real estate. So I feel like I cut my real estate career too short. I wanted to try lending. That's my fault. I'm very curious. Whatever I see, I like to touch. So for me, I was like, I need to give myself that shot, because I was doing okay in real estate. I'm not going to lie. Started off really well that first time around, that phase one. And then I wanted to try lending, right? Kind of half-assed it, I'm not going to lie. So I wanted to jump back into real estate, and this happened this February this year. Jump back in, and ever since, I mean, not looking back, man, I had a really good year, thankfully for me.
But dude, that little run in on the lending side, that had to teach you a lot. Like you're
ton,
able
dude.
to, like your buyer presentation has to
ton,
be
dude.
way better now
Yup.
because of it.
Because I understand the mortgage side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a lot more educated, I guess. And that's one of my biggest things. The way I run my business, I feel like education is extremely important. In this industry, you hear a lot of rah-rah stuff like sells this, ABC that, blah, 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 always close, which that's super important. Don't get me wrong, right? But also being knowledgeable of what you're doing to help your clients out, that's just going to differentiate yourself in this industry where everyone's licensed out here in San Diego. So that's my biggest thing is knowledge and education to help your client make a better decision.
Because they're gonna have questions.
Yes, and you have to have the answers because you're the expert.
Yeah, you're the backstop, right?
Yeah.
That's like whenever they have a question, like, where'd I go? All right, call our agent.
Yeah.
Jose.
You're the
What's
catcher,
up with this?
the umpire, and the backstop.
Yeah, dude.
So nowadays the MLB does challenges. Now you're the
You're gonna get challenged, and you will be challenged though, right?
because the consumer is a whole lot more savvy. Right?
Well, they have more information at their fingertips.
100%.
Like, I
Totally.
mean, whether or not as an agent, like I had this conversation with somebody the other day on the show, and they were talking about Zillow, and they were villainizing Zillow, and that's cool. I understand that perspective, but your client doesn't see it that way, and that's the biggest thing that you need to understand when you're in any sales gig is what does the client see?
Mm-hmm.
Where are they getting their information from? If you criticize the place where they got their information from, you're calling them dumb.
You're going against them.
Yeah,
that's not a position that you want to put yourself in, right? Going against anyone. You're there as an advocate.
Yes.
Right? That's all. You're there as an advocate. You're there as a vehicle. We're also not Superman or we're not superheroes, right? We serve as a vehicle to help the client get to where they want to be. The client's the superhero.
Oh yeah.
We're just there to help.
Every
100%.
How much of the conversation that you have with clients go outside of like the real estate space? Like how much of them become your friends? And,
oh my gosh. Every single client. This is a very social business industry. Relationships take you a very long way in this industry. I know agents that are killing it from relationships, and that's another big aspect of my business is creating relationships with other professionals. That those relationships have allowed me to grow within my business as well. Whether it's real estate agents, whether it's lenders, that relationships is everything in this industry. And I feel like just in general, human to human relationships is what makes you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's you become friends with the people you work with.
And I feel like that term is probably thrown around every single time on this podcast.
Relationships all the time, dude.
It's like just kill it, kill it with one client, go above and beyond. That's how you start a good book of business. Kill it with one client. They're going to refer you more business, and so on and so on. It just keeps growing there.
Dude, but
it's not going to happen overnight.
It's not going to happen overnight. And that's I think is the most difficult thing to get across to people every single day is I did this, but I didn't get anything out of it.
Delayed gratification, right? Let's be real. In my industry, I wish I was closing a deal every single day.
Of course.
That's the hardest part about real estate is your
Mindset, right? Imagine closing a deal every single day. You'd be super stoked, happy, whatever it is. But even if you close one deal a week or open up an escrow once a week, right?
It's still phenomenal.
It's great, but there's still 4 days that you're not doing it,
yes.
right? And that's the mindset that you go down a rabbit hole. You're like, damn, maybe I'm not doing enough, or I need to step up my game, or you start. At least I do. I don't know if other professionals do, but I struggle a lot with that.
Well, let's talk about some rabbit holes.
Yep.
Facebook, Instagram.
Double-edged sword.
All right, tell me what's been your experience? Why are you calling it a double-edged sword?
It's definitely helped my business out. Absolutely has helped my business out. In one aspect, though, that I did eliminate this year was not concentrating on social media, not concentrating on what other professionals are doing on social media, and just kind of doing my own thing. Because I was literally constantly thinking about what other people are doing, almost to the point where I almost lost who I was, how I would want to run my business. And I stopped doing that, and I started concentrating on who I am, how I want to run my business, and what is going to help my clients from my individual perspective, or how am I going to individualize my unique selling proposition, right?
That's a tough one right there.
That's what's helped me out a lot in that sense. So kind of just stop seeing what other people were doing, concentrate on my thing, and run with social media in that way. Also, I did find myself kind of losing a lot of time on social media. Not going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
Still, till today, I think a lot of people battle with that. You go on there, you lose an hour and a half thinking that you're working or doing something when in reality it's not that productive. You can be doing other things that are more productive.
Can you cut it out completely?
I should for a little bit. I think that's what I'm going to start doing. That's my next move is cut out social media for at least a week or two. We were talking about it, maybe for till the end of the year. And I think it's going to help me out. Like lately, I haven't been inspired to post anything. Like I'm very genuine. And if I don't feel like posting on social media, I'm not going to do it. And I haven't done it for like the last good chunk of the last 5 days. And it might not sound like a lot, but in our business, we're consumed by social media. We're all over it. And I feel lighter. I honestly do. And I might just do it till the end of the year. So
Dude, it's funny that we were, because I when we first started talking about this, it brought up like a lot of different perspectives for me. Like, before this podcast, you wouldn't find anything about me. Like, I had one because that's how you got invited to things, but that's it. Like, I didn't post, I didn't comment, I didn't like, it didn't consume much of my day at all.
Right.
But as soon as I decided that, oh my gosh, this is a tool that I could use the right way, wisely, all of a sudden it was like a whole different ballgame.
Wisely.
And I get, and I struggle with that question that you were asking about getting consumed with other people's stuff, like other people in your industry. I wonder about that because I do spend a lot of time online, but I'm not out there trying, like, I'm not competing with realtors anymore. I'm not trying to find listings myself, and I'm not trying to find buyers myself, and I'm not. So when I'm looking at different realtor pages, I'm like, hey, oh, you closed another one? Hey, congratulations, or whatever it is. It's my activity is to stay top of mind with the people who've been in our audience, right? Whether it been on the show or audience of the show. And so, but it does consume hours and hours of my day.
It does.
And I've been wondering if I should be paying attention to other people in my other podcasters. What are they doing? How are they putting out their content? What are they communicating like? Because maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm doing something different. But at the same time, I'm posting every day. Like, every single day we have a piece of content out, whether it's something as simple as when we, for example, this show, it's recording now, but it's probably not going to come out till like December 26th or 27th, right? It's going to show up on iTunes during then. So we'll, at bare minimum, we'll have that post that day, right?
Yeah.
But other times it's like we do the live show, or we create a story, or I'm getting tagged because we put snippets of content from other shows, right?
Yeah.
So there's always stuff going out. And it's starting to develop a brand, and I'm getting to the point now where it's like, what's going to be the next thing?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's always the question, right? Like, you're investing so much of your time on social media, so much of your energy on social media, and you got to be tactical with it.
Absolutely.
Right? If you're going to invest time, money, effort, energy into social media, I feel like you have to be very tactical. Like, for me, I invest energy, right, time into social media in a genuine way. Like, lately that I haven't posted, I don't feel like posting, so I'm not going to post on social media. You get what I'm saying?
Maybe
I don't really see it as a business strategy. Maybe I should.
Maybe, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, if you're saying you're complaining about your time being consumed with the outgoing, right? With what's coming in through your feed. Maybe you should only focus your attention on what's going out of your feed.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're only like posting you and talking about what you're doing and that sort of stuff, and kind of leave everything else out of it, then only and then maybe you'll only reply to stuff when people comment on your things, and that's it.
Yeah.
You're not concerned with the outbound.
I don't even feel like doing that right now.
Oh.
That's the truth. Like, I genuinely don't feel like doing it. Like, I don't, and that's why I don't want my business to revolve around social media. See what I'm saying? Like, my business, real estate business, revolves around my relationships that I've created with my clients. I don't need social media open the door.
Yes.
And now it's up to me to nurture those relationships.
Right. Well, tell me though, like, because other people are like, well, if you're not on social, then how are you gonna make contact with these people?
Text them, call them, send them mailers, invite them to events.
That's one thing that you're really good at, by the way.
Be real, be me.
That aspect of what you do, like where you pick up the phone, that's a unique, dude. I've talked to plenty of people on the show. Very few people will still call and be like, hey, what's up? What's going on? Like, just popping in to check on you.
Yeah.
Like, is there anything I can do to help you?
And I've hung out with really cool professionals. Like, shout out to Pancho, shout out to Jonathan Fisher, that I've hung around with. Shout out to my boy Andre Enriquez, my lender. They do these kinds of things, and I don't reinvent the wheel. I literally, and plus it's a relationship. It just makes sense.
It does.
It's like a friend. My past clients, they have. Whoa.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about that.
The time is 18 minutes and 38 seconds. We interrupt today's regularly scheduled #1 podcast in San Diego for a purely selfish, completely irreverent, sell-out cash grab word from our sponsor. Hernan, what are we selling today?
Ladies and gentlemen, I wish I could tell you that there are so many different types of foods that you would hate to have in Super Bowl Sunday, and only tell you that there's one great food, and that would be a lie. But there is a really good taco that you can get
All right.
A really good fish taco that you can grab, a small box, prepared for you. You don't have to make anything else. No hamburgers, no hot dogs. Those are good. Those are good.
Yeah.
But fish tacos would be better. CasanovafishTacos.com is our show sponsor for today, so make sure you guys go check them out. They got great pictures of all their food, but pictures don't tell you anything. You got to actually taste and try them. So go to CasanovafishTacos.com. Let them know Business Bros sent you. Get your package for Super Bowl Sunday. Get those good tacos that you want to have. Super Bowl's right around the corner. We're talking about end of January, beginning of February, something like that.
Yep, usually
something
first
like
week of
that.
February.
So you got some time. Make sure you guys place that order. CasanovafishTacos.com. Let them know Business Bros sent you.
Fish
Boom.
tacos.
Fish tacos.
All right, sorry for the interruption.
All right.
And now, back to the #1 podcast in San Diego.
That's right.
The Business Bros Pod.
That's right.
But see, that's some of those things, right? Things like that. Things like doing commercials. Things like
Saw
adding,
show,
show sponsors or vendors or ClickFunnels or whatever it is that we're going to end up doing in 2020. Growing our existing businesses. Like there's only so much time in the day, and you're right. Like if you're not careful, you're going to go down that social media rabbit hole the wrong way.
Yeah, and I'm a clear example of it. Trust me. Like I'm not an opponent of social media. I'm not going to battle it. It's something that evolves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just like anything else, you get good at it. You evolve with it. But you have to be tactical. That's just
That's true. It's like
my
anything
focus.
else,
Yeah,
right?
you got to
It's
be
like anything
tactical
else.
with it.
I think it also comes down to that whole mentality of like the analysis paralysis thing, right?
Yeah.
Like you can study and study and study and study, but if you don't have a practical, tactical plan to move in the direction that you want to go in, you're gonna be stuck in that learning knowledge thing, but never actually placing it in action. I think the same thing happens in social. Like you can consume, and that's great. You're understanding your clients' behaviors, what they like, what they don't like, but what are you doing with that information? Do you have a plan in place to like
what's next?
move yourself in the forward direction? If you don't,
It's not a business.
then it's not. It's a hobby, right? It's fun.
Business is to make money at the end of the day,
Hands down.
right? Business is a vehicle to make money, to create an income, to essentially create freedom. That's what business is for. So
let me ask you about that freedom question. When we first met, we were talking about freedom, and we've talked a couple different things. You've had a couple different ideas of ventures, some that you did some due diligence on and maybe didn't go.
Yeah.
Has your plan changed from? What is your plan?
My
and has it
ultimate
changed?
goal is always, my end game is that we all look for that cash flow, right? We all, that's like the unicorn, cash flow, or a stream of income coming in without having to work
to it,
right? Or have money work for you. So that essentially is my end game, right? Is buying real estate, multifamily real estate, and getting to that point. So that's my end game.
What's been your biggest hurdle, you think, from being able to do that? I mean, obviously it's cash, because if you had the cash, you'd buy it.
For sure.
But what's been your biggest hurdle, you think, as whether it was as a lender, whether it's been as a realtor, like what hurdle do you think you've struggled with the most, and how you fixing it?
Feeling like there's something else out there that can produce more income. That's my biggest hurdle. Like I said, I want to touch it all, and that's it could be good and a bad thing, right? Because I don't focus solely on one thing. So that's why it's like, okay, well, this guy was a lender, and now he's a real estate agent. What's Jose gonna do next? You know,
it's funny, man.
But I touch the things I touch, I go all in. I really do. But I like to move around, man. That's just the truth.
I think that's a male thing, dude. I think I'm gonna go brand it right there as a male thing, because I had lunch the other day with this guy named Lee, and
I don't want to limit myself.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I was having lunch with him, and I was like, dude, you're pretty cool, dude. You remind me a lot of me. But and the problem is I've always branched out into other things. Like I got into taxes because I wanted to know who the heck this Uncle Sam guy was, and I got really good at that one thing, and I was like, that's cool. All right, now let's understand how the money works. So I went and got my degree in accounting. I was like, that's cool. And now I want to make sure I buy real estate properties. I should get my real estate license. That's cool. Like, oh, you know what? I want to be able to have a stable income, but also have the rest of my day. I should get my teaching credential. That's cool. You know what I mean? And so each little piece is always adding into the overall scope of things. Like when it comes to like personal finance and handling money and running a business, like I'm pretty well versed now. But what has that done for me? Like, aside from the fact that I can sit behind a mic with almost any professional and and hold a conversation, that's a great tool. Mm-hmm. But how has it helped my future going forward? You know what I mean? If I were just to narrow down, like, you have your real estate license, you've doubled down. Like, if you just go double down and just be like, I'm going to be the best real estate agent I can possibly be, you can make a killing.
Right. But
I'm sure I could do.
I still feel like there's more somewhere else. Like,
that's my biggest, right?
That's my problem. Like, what about import and export? Like,
yeah,
I'm not saying that's the thing. Or like, what about, I don't know, this other business, whatever, a construction company. Like, that's what I struggle with.
And I think that's star chasing. You know what I mean? And I suffer from it. I'm sure there are many entrepreneurs who suffer from it. Yeah. You get to a point where you almost plateau, right? And it's not that you can't earn more, you can't make more. You've just maximized what you individually are capable of doing without expanding you as a business, right? So you've maximized your self-employment status, and that has a cap.
You have to start leveraging.
And
to see how you're gonna grow,
and that's a whole different skill in and of itself.
Exactly.
Right? Because now it's like, I hire somebody, but did you abdicate? Like, did you just step away from the throne and be like, go ahead, do what I was doing and walk away? Because that's how most people manage. Mm-hmm. I've been a victim of that too. And when that happens, everything goes downhill after that. You've spent all this time getting to the top of your little mountain here, and then you stick somebody else who never had the same experiences you had, and you end up going backwards, and then you get upset and you're like, this is why I don't want to do this stupid business. You start looking for the next best thing.
Exactly.
You know?
And again, it sounds like I'm a drifter of some sort, but that's just the reality of things. Like, I'm super honest, and to answer your question, I think that's what's been my biggest problem, is just not like being fully focused. Like, real estate is the only thing that I'm going to do, and then put my blinders on, and for the rest of my life, I'm going to do real estate. Honestly, I don't want to do the real estate for the rest of my life. That's just the truth. I'm using real estate as a vehicle. Right. Real estate sales as a vehicle to get to my next venture, my next point. But I'm going to get super good at it, and I'm pretty good at it now. I'm going to get better. And I'm always learning better. I'm always learning.
Dude, you're and that's one of the things I did admire about you is when you do dive in, you dive in. And here's the other thing is, you're not afraid to say I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a sponge, dude.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Like, I'm super humble, right? I'll ask the question. I feel like once you think you're the best at someone and you kind of have this arrogance, you're lost at that point. Mm-hmm. You know, because you can't get any wiser. Well,
and not just that, anything can happen. Like, I mean, we got laws changing. Oh yeah, we got laws changing all the time. I mean, we got the whole thing going on with Prop 13 and you know, property taxes at risk of changing here soon, and people are going to be in very, you know, awkward predicaments. We got the ADUs happening all over the state, like all these different things that are, you know, both a problem and an opportunity at the same time. Yeah. But only if you're able to learn about it and then implement an action plan to get to take advantage of the information that you learn.
Yeah. But ultimately, man, I see it as daylight type of thing, you know, like there's opportunity everywhere. So it kind of seems like we're talking and we're kind of drifting along, like, oh, maybe I'll do this, that.
Like our lives?
Yeah. No, dude, there's opportunity everywhere, man. Yeah. I'm a firm believer, as long as you got life, man, you can do anything.
You're awake. Yeah, you woke up. Good, man. That's a winner. What was that saying? Him that Ordinary Marketing came over and said when we asked him, "Hey man, how's it going?" And he said, "Living the best life," or what did he say? Happy to be alive.
That's my dad's phrase, man. Yeah. In Spanish is encantado de haber nacido. It means stoked to be alive. You know?
Happy to be alive.
I have it on my Instagram.
And that's the
shout
truth.
Shout out social media.
Like, you know, and shout out social media. We're in the holiday season, right? And the thing about holiday season is it's always this double-edged sword for everybody. Like, if you've had a rough year, like if you've lost family members throughout the year, it's a tough time, right? You're going through this holiday season where everybody's supposed to be together and you feel that emptiness. Or the other way around, you've had, you know, new births or weddings or whatever, and you get to the holidays and everything's happy. Yeah. And the difference between the two, you know, like you can dwell on the negative, or you can let it sink you down or drain you and talk about how horrible the holiday seasons are. Yeah. Or you can take that same opportunity and look at it in the sense that I'm just happy to be alive.
Exactly. And
Like-
I'm glad we're talking about this now, because I don't hear it talked about a lot in our industry, right? Everyone talks about happiness and sellings and listings and representing buyers and doing
Only the good stuff.
only the good stuff, man. And I don't know if I'm the only one that suffers from like sometimes having really bad days, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But they come around, man, more often than I wish they did. And you start second guessing your abilities, and even when I'm having a good year in my eyes, right?
Yeah.
And it happens, man. It happens to every single one. Not even just self-employed people that have regular jobs, right? It's
100%.
I think it's natural. It's part of the human aspect, and I think we have to address that too.
Well, our
'Cause
lives
it's
are
such a
like a
reality.
heartbeat, dude. I mean, there's ups and downs, peaks and valleys, dude. It's
100%.
it's just the way life's gonna be. But I'm 100% behind the perspective. Like
Yup,
you get to
that's
decide
it.
the perspective on what it is.
How grateful are you?
Yes.
Right? Gratitude. Are you grateful to be alive today? What does that mean? That's another opportunity today. If you're in
100%.
real estate, or if you're selling door-to-door books, I don't know, whatever it is, it's another opportunity.
Well, I'll tell you though,
Right.
my hardest thing is to have that empathy for somebody from time to time. Like, for example, there's people who are in situations that are difficult, right? And it's not their fault, especially when it's like kids, for example.
Yeah.
And I'm very empathetic to them because there's nothing they did to
Deserve
have it right in their lives. And then there are also other people who things happen to them. And by the same token, there's nothing they did to deserve that. But if they're not willing to even try to look at another perspective, like there's people who are always pointing the finger at everything that happens to them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
and to me that's a difficult thing to start to feel empathy for. I
Yeah.
feel it at first when the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
time, maybe the second time you're pointing the finger,
Right.
maybe the third time, but when it's a constant point the finger at everybody else,
Yeah.
I have a hard time.
Oh,
like
for sure.
at a certain point, it's like,
Yo.
bro, like
Yo.
you
And
gotta
then,
look in the mirror at some point.
and then that's where personal development comes into play.
Mhm.
Like, what are you doing? What is your schedule like? Do you meditate, right? Are you grateful? Do you journal? Do you exercise? Do you get those endorphins running? What are
Mhm.
you doing? What's your schedule look like? Are you managing time appropriately? Right? If you do all the right things, it's inevitable. Success is inevitable.
Because you're forcing yourself, and the thing is, you're doing it
And
even
you're
when you
attracting
don't want to do it.
Yeah, and you're attracting it, right?
Yeah, you're
Just
calling
ask
for
for
it.
it.
Yeah,
Ask for it and you shall receive it. And I'm honestly a firm believer in the law of attraction, right? Ask for it and it'll come your way. But demand that shit. Fucking demand it.
Well,
Don't beg for it. Grab it.
Yeah, grab it. But
Grab
and the other thing is be prepared for what comes along with what you ask for.
Yeah,
like oftentimes
exactly.
we ask for things and we don't realize the baggage that comes with the thing you asked for.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like
Losing time with relatives, loved ones,
yeah.
because you're chasing your personal legend.
Exactly. Like we're talking. I mean, we're talking realtors right now, right? So real estate agents like, oh, I hope next year, 2020 is my year that I'm gonna close 50 deals this
How?
year, right? I'm gonna close. Let's just say they it's Christmas spirit, right? So they're it's Christmas Eve. They're like,
They're jolly.
hey, my wish is to close 50 deals in the year of 2020, right? You start the new year, you go into quarter one, you go into quarter 2, and you're like, holy crap, I'm on pace.
Mm-hmm.
Did you also not realize that your spouse is probably feeling neglected? Your
Yes.
kids are feeling neglected. You're at the office all day long. Like there's other things that come with what you're asking for, and you need to be prepared to take all of it, right?
Or understand.
Understand that
That's
more than
yeah.
just the one thing.
Exactly.
It's totally achievable,
For
totally
sure.
attainable. You can do it, but you're sacrificing one thing for another, and you have to be okay with making that sacrifice.
And the only person that knows that answer is yourself. Or
How much are you willing to tolerate?
Yeah, whoever has that wish. Or
Yeah. Well, this is why for me happiness is so important. That's why we talk
Yeah.
about like
Yeah.
having the gratitude or journaling or
Big
doing all
time.
those things, because you have to be happy with what you do.
all the
Like
time.
I just I feel bad. Like for example, my brother passed away this year, so Christmas and stuff like that for my mom, it's different for her this year, right? So it's tougher for her. And we had Christmas on Sunday, and she had a great time. She had the kids over. They were all making cookies. Like I wanted to go watch Star Wars, right? I wanted to take my dad because Dad's a Star Wars guy. I want to take my dad, and we'll take me and the boys and my nephews, whatever, my son and nephews, and we were gonna go watch Star Wars.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
wife, she told me no, you can't do that. Like your mom does this day, and she wants all the grandkids there.
Yeah.
She's gonna make cookies, and we decorate it, and it's her day. She needs that day. And
Yeah.
so for me, I was like, okay, like especially this year, I understand how much she needs it, right?
Yeah.
But so like finding that, understanding that, you know, there are things you want and there are things that you're willing to sacrifice. What are you sacrificing them for?
Exactly.
Right? I mean, yes, not watching Star Wars is a very minute sacrifice. But the point is you have to give something up for something else. I was still happy at home with the family, right? You're always going to still have your happiness is key first and foremost. You don't always do what you want to do, but if you're happy, what difference does it really make?
Yeah, it's like that cliche, right? Find balance.
I don't even like balance, dude. I think that's such a
like,
dumb word. Like
it's
no,
up to the
understanding,
dude,
right?
you
And
know?
that's like things like fair, equality, balance. Like those are such bullshit words,
Yeah,
dude.
bro.
Like nothing in life is fair.
Yeah, no, you're gonna get fucking punched in the face, dude.
Every single time, it's
Yeah.
gonna happen, dude. Nothing in life is fair. It's fair if you're the winner. Like if you win,
and guess how you become a winner? If in your head you're a damn winner,
yeah, you mean somebody else lost, right?
Yeah.
And that to me, I don't know. I don't like that. I've always been trying to find a win-win.
Community, right? Yeah.
I want to have a win-win. I want you to enjoy the victory with me.
For
If
sure.
we can find that road,
Yeah.
then everybody's in a good place. And
But-
it takes a little more
Then
work.
everybody wins.
Well, see, and that's the thing.
Yo, now we're getting into like some society shit right now.
Right,
It's
right.
like,
And-
Well, I mean, it was a win-win. So like you're like, and everybody walks away happy.
and
Yeah.
then we got a utopia with butterflies.
No, but that doesn't work either, see?
Right? Yeah.
But I don't know. And it can get. You're right. It can get all
It can get-
crazy.
yeah.
But my thing is like I understand that there is a loss, and I understand that I'm not always the nicest person. Like the wife always tells me, she's like, "You're an asshole, dude." I'm like, I know, but at least I'm honest with everybody. Like everybody knows,
Yeah.
like whether I'm gonna do something or not gonna do
Yeah.
something. They know who I am as personality type.
You're the
I'm not
furthest
hiding
away
it.
from an asshole, though.
Well,
Honestly, you know?
I do like to help out a lot of people. But for example, like I don't go out very much.
Nope.
I
Nope,
rarely
you're
go out.
boring.
I'm pretty boring. And vacation, for example, right?
But you have your own idea of fun, dude. Like this, I'm sure you look happy as shit right now.
Oh, dude, I love this.
Like
This is fun.
This is like your Friday night at a club popping a bottle. Type
Yeah,
shit,
yeah,
right? Like,
absolutely.
like this is your shit, dude.
It-
Like
Sounds about right.
Well, check this out. So here's the irony in things, right? The wife is like, oh, she wants to get dressed up, go out dancing, have
Yeah,
dinner, right?
yeah.
And that's cool. And I'm like, it's not really my thing. However, if I have somebody that I know is having like a premiere night or something, and it's like now it's like, okay, well, I'm going to this specific event, and I can take my wife and dress up and have dinner and all those things.
Cool.
Like for me, going out has to have a definite purpose.
Yeah.
And it's always and that's the selfish part of me. It's always got to be like some sort of business related, some sort of relationship that I'm building.
Gotcha.
And
By the way, if you guys haven't noticed, we're jumping into another part of the podcast: relationships.
relationships, because it's always about
Yeah,
relationships,
yeah.
right? But by the same token, doesn't it kind of suffer? Like I don't know about your relationship, but for me, it's like what I just told you was I will do all these things for somebody else in my circle, that's in my
But-
outer circle, but I'm not
Dude.
consciously doing it for my inner.
Yeah, and
You see the conflict there? Like there's
for
a big
sure.
conflict there.
I get hit with that all the time, and my girl Bianca knows this, right? And she kind of like checks me, dude. Honestly, and I need that. Right?
Yeah.
That's what you want in a partner. You don't see it as like, oh shit, she's always nagging and shit like that. No, like,
Sometimes you do, but then you step back and
But
you're
it's
like,
like,
she's
think
doing it from
about
a
it.
place of love.
yeah, and she's most of the time she's right. Sorry to say that.
Yeah,
Sorry, inner Jose. She's mostly right all the time. It's the truth, dude. But yeah, no, I understand 100% what you're saying. Yeah, your inner circle suffers, and you please your outer circle.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to find that balance.
And that's the weird
Right?
balance, right? That's the whole thing.
Yeah,
And
it's a life thing, right? It's
It
just a
is.
life thing.
It is. It is.
Yeah, finding that perfect median.
Man,
Yeah.
I wish there was. If you ever find it, will you let me know? I don't know where that thing exists.
Yeah.
But maybe it's like the
Maybe
Matrix.
it's making less money.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's
Well,
hustling.
I'll be
less.
honest, like that actually factually is correct. Like
No.
one of the main
Like, if I
reasons
didn't
why I
have to
stepped
work,
out.
dude.
Yeah, well, that's one of the main reasons
Yeah.
why I stepped out of doing the real estate regularly.
Yeah,
Is because she
a
said,
lot of your
I
time.
want you to be home on the weekends and the evenings. I used to have the game truck company. I want you to be home on the weekends and the evenings.
Yeah.
Like all these different things that I've developed because I've always developed a business as a side hustle and it's grown into something, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is it consumes my extra time. And where's my extra time? Evenings and weekends. Right. And so, we build something and it's good. The money's great. And then she's like, I'd rather have the time. So we get rid of it and start something new. And that's kind of been the thing.
So it's like we're talking social media. Be tactical with social media. Now you have to be extremely tactical with your time.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's limited. That is the real value right there. Time. They say, I don't know, I'm not at that level yet, but they say the rich buy time. They
Absolutely.
use their money to buy time.
I agree 100%. I tell my students the same thing all the time. Like money can't buy you, you always hear money can't buy you happiness, right? And I 100% agree with that. Money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you
cool ass shit.
It could buy you cool ass shit, but really what it does is buy you time to
Yeah.
figure out what does make you happy.
Exactly, dude.
And that's the only thing
That's
money can
cool.
really buy you is
Yeah.
time. Think about it. If you ask almost anybody, they're like, "Oh, well, what did you tell me? Your goal is to have that magic cash flow." Well, for what?
That unicorn to have time to
To
go
have
travel,
time,
dude. Like
right?
to go do what I want
That's
to
what
do.
everybody does. They get their job, whether it's self-employed or
Yeah.
anything. They're gonna get their jobs for what? So they can hit their retirement age, so they
yeah.
can retire and live life how they want to.
Yeah.
They're all trying to buy
Yeah.
time.
So I mean, ultimately, I don't want to become a slave to any business.
No, nobody
That's
does.
my thing.
Nobody
you know?
does, but
And-
everybody is.
Yeah, and that's the truth, and no one talks about that, dude. No one talks about it.
It's a scary
You know,
thing.
and it's not. Some people might love it, dude. Honestly,
Oh no, they love having purpose,
right?
and that's completely
Feeling
different.
Like they have.
It's because it's a reason to get up in the morning.
Yeah.
Whether it was a reason that somebody told you to get up,
Yeah.
or you're doing it of your own accord,
Word.
you have a purpose every single day, and
Yup.
that is something that internally I think every human needs.
Yeah.
Right. We all
We
need
all
to
wanna
have purpose.
Feel like that.
Yeah,
Like we
absolutely.
Matter,
Like
right?
we matter, but contained to a job. Like essentially, we're ants, bro. Like
Dude,
one in
yeah.
front of the other,
Yeah.
building something for somebody else
100%.
all the time, every single day,
So-
and then we hope that at some point in the
Yeah.
future we have time to maybe go do what we want to do. We're
That's-
all after the same happiness. Just how fast can you get there? Well, how much time do you got to spend?
Yeah, and I think it's super important for you as an individual to know what your happiness is. What is your meaning of happiness?
Define it.
Yeah,
Like
and then
really.
I recently
deep.
read a book by Napoleon Hill. It was Outwitting the Devil. So Interview with the Devil. Have you guys heard it
No.
or read it?
Uh-uh.
Super good book. Talks about drifting. It talks about every single aspect, every single thing that we're talking about today. And ultimately, it gets down to really understanding what you want out of life.
Mm-hmm.
Once you know that, then it's super easy to get there.
Yeah. Clarity.
Yeah. So,
And that's-
I mean, I follow, the some heavy hitters in business, right? They make millions of dollars, whatever it is, on social media. Of course, I know some of them in person. And one thing they all have in common is that they know exactly what they want to the T.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not bullshitting around doing another business on the side here, another XYZ thing over here on the side. They're 100% invested in what they're doing, and they know for a damn fact that they're going to make XYZ amount of money, whatever it is, and they're going to be this happy. So those people I see them, and they're far away from drifting.
Mm-hmm.
They are set, and they understand clearly what they want out of life, and they go after it.
Dude, that's the difference, though. And when we talked
Yeah.
about it earlier about why haven't you reached a certain level of success that you want to reach,
Ultimately, I think I could say I'm drifting, dude.
and that's the key.
Yeah.
And most of us do that. We don't have that clarity. That's
Yeah.
why for
Yeah.
James and I, we've been talking a lot about 2020 is the year of clarity. It's
Yeah.
like vision 2020, right?
Yeah.
If you can see it, you can hit it.
Yeah. Like I wish in my real estate business, I wish I was able to sit down here with you guys and tell you, yeah, next year I'm gonna make $1 million in commissions, right? Or I know for a fact I'm gonna make $1 million. That's just not the truth, and that's why I feel like I'm drifting, and that's why I haven't invested in real estate. That's why I haven't taken step 2, right? Because I'm like, I don't know how much I'm really gonna make.
Because if you've reached a level of success, you're worried about not having the
Now I'm worried
replication.
about
Like,
losing it.
Can you do it again? Yeah.
I'm worried about losing it,
Yeah.
dude. Like, and maybe it's not gonna happen, right?
No, it most
it
likely
shouldn't,
won't happen. You
right?
have a work ethic,
But
and
dude, like it fucks with you, dude.
yeah, it
really
does. It does.
And I'm being completely honest, man. Like, it probably shouldn't,
No, but it does.
but it does. And I don't know if anyone else suffers from it, but
Yeah, everybody who has money is always worried about losing it.
and I don't have a lot of money, dude.
No, but it doesn't matter. It's what you have. It's like a squirrel in
Yeah.
harvest for the or bear getting ready for the winter. Like
Yeah.
you have a set amount,
Yeah.
and you might have enough, but you're always afraid somebody else is going to
Someone's
come
gonna
take it.
take it, dude. And
Right?
yeah, and it shouldn't be that way.
No,
right?
it shouldn't. But
You should be more creative, because once you get over that hump, that fear, then your mind opens up to being more creative, right? Creativity. You start strategizing, and then you can move forward, right? And make 5 times the amount,
yeah,
right?
because
you have
10
times the amount.
So maybe it
that you
means that you got to develop some of your systems to put in place.
have.
Maybe
that's what it is.
that's the
That's what it is.
that's
To
the
know.
piece.
And I still feel like even if you do have a system, it's really hard to really know to how much money you're really gonna make.
Yeah, you're not gonna know
You know?
until you've implemented the system and it's been operational for a while. Because you
Yeah.
still got to tweak it, make it.
So
fix it, change
my
it.
system is very new. Let's just say that my system's very new. And going back to answering that question, why am I not where I want to be, right, in the investment world? That would be the answer. My system is new, and I don't trust it that much yet. That's just the truth.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
true.
there yet.
It's not McDonald's yet.
It's not, dude.
Because
It's
once
not.
you have it to McDonald's, anybody can run it.
It's McDonald's before Ray Kroc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
then, those McDonald's brothers, those Ronald McDonald
Yeah.
brothers, they had it down
They
before
had it.
Ray Kroc came in.
Yeah, they had it, but someone else had a better vision.
Had a bigger vision. That's true.
No.
That's true.
And my thing is like just like shoot for the moon and land on a star.
That's right.
Or you might even make it to the moon, dude.
You never know. You never know. Mickey's gonna make it there first, I think. All right, brother. Watch. I can almost guarantee it. One of these days, we're gonna look up at the moon, and there's gonna be a Mickey like created on it.
Already. Dude, I bet you they can already.
That'd be crazy though. Send some people up, excavate, and then every time the moon comes out, everybody sees Mickey.
Yeah.
I mean, wait, you can't claim the moon, can you? First one there gets it.
I guess so. Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
I don't
Like,
know.
stake your claim.
We'll let the new Space Force.
Yeah, they'll
regulate
figure it out. They'll end up working for it. All right, Jose. Thank you, my brother, for coming
man.
on the show, man.
Yeah, man.
And Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas. Happy
La-
New Year.
Ladies
I'll
and
see you guys.
gents, we will see you
can end
guys.
that, bro.
Yeah, we
Okay.
will see you guys, ladies and gentlemen, after the Christmas holiday. So we got no show for scheduled for tomorrow. So no live tomorrow, no live on Christmas Day. We might pop in and do a little, say what's up on Christmas Day or something like that. But we'll get back to you guys on the flip side. Still got episodes posting except for Christmas Day. Enjoy your family. Have some fun out there. And Merry Christmas to all of you. We'll see you again
Merry
after
Christmas, y'all.
Christmas. Peace.
Peace.
Bye bye.
And we're out. Facebook champion right here. Check it out. Woo! 2017. Great. What?
Whatever. We're cutting this live. Get out of here.
2019.
It hurts.